All steps
Let's go.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone, and welcome to the UnFuckIt Discussion. It is sometime in May, sometime towards the, wait, look at the date. It is the 27th of May, and it is a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. We know it's a Wednesday because we're here. Other than that, I have no fucking clue what day of the week it was, because time has literally no meaning anymore. Just before we started recording, we started getting into a conversation about all kinds of stuff, and I definitely want to get back to that. Where to start off? Well, okay, so we're going to start off, we'll start off this week. I want to start off and talk about, because we talk about this all the time, physical symptom stuff that's going on, because we've had a wild, the last 2 weeks, crazy, wild, energetic, whooshy, whatever you want to fucking call it. And you know me, I collect symptoms, so people contact me all the time. Hold on, we've got someone, there we go, muting people, there we go. People send me a lot of symptom stuff. Oh, you know, and they'll send me messages like, oh, this is what is going on, it's really strange, or things that are going on in their family, friends, etc. Last week, okay, so not this weekend just passed, the weekend before that. We didn't have a show last week because I had to go out of the house last Wednesday, and I knew I was going to be, there's no way I'd be back in time. So this would have been, let's say, the weekend of the, let's say from the Friday the 15th right through until around the 20th, the 21st. Almost a full week. There was a wave that hit. And again, it's like when we collect up symptoms that happen, if you have two people in the same house and they have the same symptom, you can toss it off and you can say, okay, you caught something, you got a little bit of food poisoning, you got a little bit of a cold, whatever. There's something there that was contagious, hence the fact why everyone in the family is going through it. But then you have things that happen simultaneously to people on the other side of the world. Completely other side of the world, and happening too much, just way too symptoms that are appearing almost at the exact same time that you just can't call it coincidence. So that is about a 5-day period when it was like it swept around the world. It was this bizarre nausea with vomiting for some people not. It was just the nausea. There was diarrhea, so like you're talking the entire digestive tract not happy at all. And it came with exhaustion, being completely lethargic, completely out of it, like completely out of the picture. And I watched it, and it was about a 5-6 day period, and there were so many people. So I know one of our good friends, one of our unfuckers, was the whole weekend, that weekend was wiped out with it. Gail, another friend of ours, of course, Gail had it, she had it on Monday. Nick got it on Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday or the Wednesday. On the Monday, my dogs threw up. One dog just threw up, just literally stood up in the middle, Groot stood up in the middle of the living room floor and just threw up his entire breakfast. Both dogs had diarrhea for 2 days straight. I got reports of people whose cats were doing the same. The cats all of a sudden throwing up all over the place. Cats just not animals, pets, sleeping, not moving, not. Okay, Deb saying apparently you guys had it too. It was really, really, really fucking strange. Now, here's the thing, and this is the other thing we talk about contagious stuff, right? It's one thing if it was same old, but a good portion of us have been in the house and have not gone anywhere. So if you get something like this and you've suddenly been sick and you've been in the house for 2 fucking weeks straight, and then all of a sudden something like this hits you, it's not something that was contagious. It's not something that you just picked up somewhere along the line. There's obviously much more to it. Even I had one friend of mine who said even her chickens were acting bizarre. Just really, really bizarre, right? So we have that. And that kind of went through, and like I said, it was about a 5-6 day period. And then the following week, so it was like last weekend, this one just passed, and right through this week has been another wave of people going through the intense exhaustion, physical fatigue, where like your body feels so heavy just trying to even get up and move and do things. It's a supreme effort to just get through your day and try and get these things, do your regular kind of routine stuff. My kids, I had both my boys. At one point, both boys were just like, Mommy, I don't feel right. And you go through the list of like, okay, is it your stomach? Is it your head? Is it your, anything? And they were like, no, it just doesn't feel right. Nothing feels right. It feels really not real. Nice turn of phrase that. Not real. And on myself, I'm like this. It's been a roller coaster for me for 2 weeks. Like literally, I have days where I'm physically great, emotionally great, mentally okay. Like you just go on, you get your shit done, etc., and then all of a sudden you just get hit with this, and it's like a wave because you get hit and it's an instantaneous where either, okay, Joanna, yes, headaches is the other one. It's the last 2 weeks, headaches, really, like the kind of headaches that last for days. And I do all my tricks to sort out headaches. My one daughter, Kira, over the last 2 weeks, she's had 2 or 3 headaches, and each one of them lasted 2 days, 2.5 days. These symptoms just keep coming up. Physical symptoms, again, we're talking about pain symptoms. I was just saying too, I was joking with Anne earlier and a couple of other friends of ours. I just went to the grocery store. Went just to the grocery store. Not a big shopping. It's like one of those where you go to the grocery store, so you get up, you go to the store, you walk around the aisles, you get what you want, you come home, and I'm putting stuff away on the counter, putting stuff on the way to the counter. So you're going through the whole thing being stood up. And then I went to, so we have a European style fridge, which is the fridge is on top, the freezer's on the bottom. And I went to squat down just to put some stuff in the freezer. And it literally felt like my hips and my knees were locked in position as if I'd been standing for hours and hours and I hadn't kind of released those muscles yet. And I was like, what the hell? And like my hips ached, my knees ached. This has been crazy stuff. The ear ringing, yes, Monty. Oh my fucking God. The tones have gone off the charts. And there's been a couple of nights where I've gone to bed and literally you lie there, you close your eyes, and then you look up at the ceiling and go, okay, seriously? Where's the fucking mute button, guys? I just need to go to sleep. Can we just turn this off somehow? Anyway? Like, how do we go to bed trying to do this in the hopes that it'll, it doesn't work. I don't know. It was crazy. Now, the other thing that came along with all this stuff is the Mandela effects. And in the last 2 weeks, we've had some, like, people have reported some really seriously huge Mandela effects. We're going back to this. Okay, so Deb, yeah, hips are killing me. Also swollen. Oh, okay, thank you, Deb. Swelling. I couldn't get my rings off the other day, and you had to do the whole like dish soap. My hands were so swollen, I couldn't believe it, and I had to leave my rings off for several days. Swelling in the legs, and again, even Nick has had that experience where like your socks leave a mark, as if a huge elastic has been pressed around your skin. Swelling. Question for everyone. Okay, and I get it. A lot of people have been on lockdown, so therefore you're not getting out, you're not doing stuff, maybe you're not working, etc. I want to ask everyone here, weight gain over the last few months? How many people have experienced weight gain? That's really not really explainable. Like, it's one thing if you know you've been eating Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme donuts every day, then you go, yeah, I know where that 10 pounds came from. Nancy, I've got COVID 10. That's 10 pounds up. Yeah. Well, okay, and that's what I was just going to say, Joanna. Weight gain or weight loss? Because there's been no, for most people that I've spoken to personally about it, it's one or the other. Either they've suddenly lost weight for no reason, or they've suddenly gained weight for no reason. All my kids have gained weight. Even my skinny mini, Kale, who is literally skin stretched over a bone structure, even he actually looks almost like a human being now. When he stretches, you don't necessarily see nothing but rib cage, like he's like a starving child from Africa. That's awesome, Nancy. Nancy was just saying her son's lost 2 shirt sizes. This is it. It's one or the other. There seems to be very, very little middle ground. It's the body is either taking on weight or it's getting rid of weight. And there's, again, like I said, when I've talked to people about it, it's, as I said, if you've been putting back a half dozen Krispy Kreme donuts a day and you put on 15 pounds, you go, I know where that came from. But for a lot of people, there's no explanations, right? Diet hasn't changed. Our diet hasn't changed in this house. I'm out digging in the garden. I'm out physically weeding and digging and doing all kinds of stuff. And I've put on at least 10, 15 pounds in the last 3 months. The sleeping thing, yeah, either you can't go to sleep or you're asleep instantaneously. And I actually want to talk about that a little bit too. Anyone else doing the, like this, like if the light turns off, especially during the day, you lay down, you all of a sudden get overwhelmingly tired, and you lay down, you close your eyes, and the light turns off, and it's instantaneously asleep. And then you instantly wake up, and it's a half an hour later, 45 minutes later, an hour later, and it's as if you've literally blinked your eyes, and then you're back. But no, there is no in between. It's, yeah, exactly, Monty. It's like passing out. It's not like you're having a nap. It's not like you're like, oh, maybe I'm just going to just, relax a little here. I'll just take, no. It's not like I'll take a little nap. It's like you all of a sudden you sit there, you close your eyes, and no matter where you are, whether you're in bed, you're on the couch, you're on a chair, it doesn't matter. It's bam. As if someone's turned off a light switch. Snap. And I've been hearing a lot of that from a lot of people. It is, for me, it's been absolutely freaking crazy how many times it's happened to me now. Unbelievable. Hello there, Dawn. How are you, darling? In her doggy t-shirt.
Yes, my nightie. Maurice just left. He's going home after 2 months.
After 2 months, he's off home.
Yeah. Well, we had to get his place sprayed and everything because he had the flea breakout. Y'all know that.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to leave here Saturday and go to him for a week. But yeah, he just left. That's why I'm like.
Well, safe driving, Maury, wherever you are.
And Gandalf, Gandalf's going to be bummed because he took over my entire house.
And he's so used to all these brothers and sisters now.
I
know. He's going to be all by himself. He's going to be like, Dad, you got to adopt some more animals.
I know. He's the only cat I've ever seen that does not hiss, does not growl, does not get ugly, nothing. Does not exist.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting back to what we're saying. This instantaneously unconscious. And it is not normal. It isn't. Even we've all had those times when you're exhausted. Like, I don't know, you've been worked a 13-hour shift, or you've just literally done a gargantuanly busy day, and you're exhausted, and you lie down in bed, and you relax, and you drift off to sleep. You don't go unconscious as if someone's turned a light switch off. And yeah, Deb, I'm not I've never been a napper. Never. And I cannot tell you, in the last 3 weeks especially, how many days where I've had to sit down or lay down, not once, but twice. Where I've literally sat on the couch in the middle of the afternoon, and I've just got myself trained where when I get that exhaustion, to just lean my head back on the couch and let myself just take like a 15-20 minute cat nap. And then that'll be, say, like at 2-3 o'clock, and I'll do dinner, and then by 7-8 o'clock, I'm in the same position again. I'm back on the couch again, taking another little cat nap just to get me through to bedtime. It's crazy. Yes, weird dreams. Weird, vivid dreams, and very rarely does anyone remember anything. They know they've had just like a, what was that type dream, but most people just can't recall. There's no recall, and sometimes you get a piece, like a little piece of the dream comes back, but that's it. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, and what's really funny, Peg says, I know I've been dreaming, but it's gone almost before I even wake up. I've had dreams where I wake up and you have a piece. It may only be a little shard of a piece of the dream that you remember, but there'll be something there. There'll be something that at least you can remember who you were with, the basic idea of what you were doing, etc. And you get up, I feed the dogs, make coffee, etc. Go outside, have a smoke, come back in, sit down on the computer, go to start typing out what I can remember to say, like Anne and Gail or something, and it's gone. Even though you can remember it right up until that point, the moment I actually go to try and verbalize it or write it out, it's just instantaneously gone. It's crazy. Like, you gotta wonder. So yeah, so I want to go back to the whole Mandela effects, because I think this has got to be, when we talk about symptoms of shit going around, when we see these Mandela effects, what the hell? That's really huge. So, for example, one of the unfuckers on the Facebook group woke up, same house she's lived in for like 5-10 years, same house. Woke up, and there's a brand new house across the road from her house, in what used to be a parking lot. And it's not like a mobile home. It's not like it's a prefab. No, it's like a brick and mortar house. It appeared overnight, right across the house, all across the road from her. And she literally was like, what the fuck is, what? Since then, I've had, and Dawn, I'm glad you're here, because you're kind of involved in this next little Mandela effect. See my necklace? You guys know this. I wear this all the time, right? The chain Dawn, that you sent me. Dawn sent me this chain as a gift. The chain is now 6 inches shorter than it was.
What? Yeah, I'm looking at that chain. That's
Okay, now look, right? You guys, when I used to wear this pendant was always down between my boobs. So if I wanted to wear it and have it look nice, I used to gather the chain at the back and put a hairband around it to raise it up so that it could be seen, because I love this pendant, right? Okay, that's chain at full. This chain I used to be able to take off. I never undid it. I used to take it off over my head.
wow.
That's the length of this chain now. And I literally went. I'm like getting ready for bed. And I'm getting ready for bed. I'm gonna have a shower. Gonna cuddle, and I'm gonna like wash my hair. So I always make sure I take off this if I'm washing my hair. So you do this. You without thinking. You go like this, and I'm like, what? So I undo the latch. I get Nick to undo it because I fucking couldn't get undone. Put it down on my nightside table. The next morning or 2 mornings later, I'm like, oh, my necklace. Got to put that on. Pick it, put it over my head, and it lays across. I was like, oh, what a lovely little coronet I have now, because it just fits across the top of my head. And I sat there and I looked at Nick. I was like, Nick, and he goes, why can't you put that over your head? Mandela effect. This chain is now literally at least 5-6 inches shorter than it was. Overnight.
We had a Mandela effect yesterday, Danny. My husband and I we go to this place called Cobb's Bread. It's a bakery.
Yeah.
And I was standing in the kitchen looking at the label, and I looked at Darwin and I said, are you Mandela affected? And he says, funny you should ask that, because I went to Cobb's Bread and I was standing outside and I thought I was losing my mind. And I said, okay, how do you spell it? And he says, Cobbs. And I said, that's how I spell it. I said, look at the list I gave you before you went out today. See how I spelled it? Cobbs.
Yeah.
So the 2 B's aren't a common spelling. We wouldn't throw that in. That's like not a mistake. All of a sudden there's 1 B. And we're like, what the fuck? It's like Cobbs. So it's really weird. But I wanted to add something. Maybe people can notice this too. Manifestation is happening quicker.
Yeah.
Like I was asking questions, like in my mind, I said, okay, I need to learn about trademarks because I'm going to start a coloring book business. And right away, as soon as I came onto the computer in my YouTube feed, there was 5 videos queued up on trademarks. And I went, you're kidding me. And the same thing, I asked another question in my mind about something and it was there. And I hadn't been searching for it. So it's not like I front end loaded the feed, so manifestation is happening a little bit quicker, guys, so pay attention to that too.
Okay, hold on. Nancy, we'll get back to that and remind me, okay? I just read what Panda just wrote. History of Mandela's for me. Christopher Columbus was apparently looking for Mount Zion in Jerusalem when he traveled to the Americas? What the fuck? Links, please. Someone's going to have to give me a link to this one. Because, what the fuck? And no, that's not you misremembering. He was looking for the East Passage to get to India. He was trying to get to India. He was looking for the passage to get east to go to India. I don't know. Like, this is it. Like crazy. We've had, we talked about this, like the little Mandela effects that you have in your house that are like suddenly something disappears or something reappears or things like that. And that's all fine. But it's like I said, it's when all of a sudden, okay, so Nancy, you're saying about manifestation. So we've got our garden. And along this fence here, I've planted all peas and beans. And we have 1 pea, he's my proud boy. My 1 pea is like 3 foot tall already. And he's twice the height of everyone else. So Nick and I always joke because to the point where Nick put up like a meshing, like a plastic crisscross meshing piece so that the peas and beans have something to climb up. But it's only about 18 inches tall. and this big boy's already shot up way past it. So we were joking about this, and Nick and I were like, oh yeah, very soon we're going to definitely have like some buds on there. I can, definitely, our big boy, he's going to have some buds for sure. And we'll get, then that's it. We'll have peas really soon. Woke up the next morning. Nick says, this morning, and Nick goes to me, the peas have flowered. I'm like, what? Like some of them are only this tall. No, sure enough, he's right. The peas have flowered overnight. Boom. And that same type of thing where I'm just like, because I talk to my plants. I'm totally strange that way. I love my plants, and I talk to all of my plants, especially my seedlings. When I'm putting my seedlings into the ground, I reassure them. My kids think I'm completely wackadoodle. And I've had things literally burst where they've grown that much in a day. And you come back and you go, what the hell? What the, like, they're just like the holy shit, right? So, I don't know.
Did I tell you that a rat came into the garage and ate my mother's car?
What?
Never had a rodent problem in my entire life. Lived here 16 years. And sometime I'm thinking, because the AC went out in my mother's car, I want to say about February, but I finally got the car in and they said they couldn't fix it. So I had to take it to the dealership. Long story short, they took my car apart, found a fucking rat in there, had ate all the wiring, ate through the AC manifold. And then these people at the dealership, because I'm a girl, have the nerve to call me up and tell me it's $12,000 to fix my fucking car, which is only worth about $9,000. And I was like, what?
Told them to go fuck themselves, right?
Yeah, I did. And I called my insurance company and because they're trying to get me to pay cash, right? So I called the insurance, have the insurance get out there, and ends up being a $5,000 claim anyway. But yeah, just dealt with that.
So further.
It's always something.
Further to that. Oh, Dawn. Always something? I want to find out from everyone, you guys too. Everything that I touch that's technology based, everything just dies. It just breaks. Nothing is working. And that goes down to things like, I've been joking about the fact of like, if all these websites are going down, nothing is working, all the technology is breaking, like as far as like algorithms and things like that. Every single thing that I have touched in the last 2 weeks doesn't work. It's gotten to the point of crazy, ridiculous. Now, again, Nancy, am I manifesting that? Am I manifesting that because I just keep talking about it?
Well,
am I keep saying it and therefore it's just happening?
It reminds me of something that, it was Allison Coe did a while back. And this was around March. She had a client that had some resolution she had to make with a son that had passed away. And when Allison Coe asked the lady, what do you see as our future? So this was probably late January, before COVID even became like commonplace knowledge.
Yeah.
And if you go about 16 minutes into the video, she talks about, when she asks her what she sees for her future, she says, I see stormtroopers fighting in the street like a war, but it's not a war. People are outraged. They're outraged. They're not getting paid. And I'm thinking, that client was from August last year. But towards the end of the session, she talks about what we're familiar with in the flash or the event again. Remember how the event became popular, or the solar flash, whatever you would like to call it. And Allison Coe asked her client, well, how will we know when that is near? And she says, when manifestation gets closer to when you think it and it happens. And she gave very tiny examples, like not big, like you're not going to win the lottery. It's simple, smaller things.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, if I remember later, you guys, I'll put that Allison Co video into the UU room at the timestamp so you can listen to it, because when she said she saw stormtroopers in the street, you know what I thought of?
What?
I thought of people in protective coveralls during COVID with respirators on. They look like stormtroopers, don't they?
Masks, yeah, and especially like if they're doing like the eye covers as well, yeah. This is.
I mean, it's not an exact science, I'm sorry, but, you know, it's
absolutely.
interesting.
No. It's interesting because this is the thing. I'm a very optimistic person. I know it's hard to tell sometimes on these shows, but I'm actually a very optimistic. And I'm always like, no, this is going to be just fine. And this is going to be just fine. And this is going to work out exactly what it should. And things come together. Things come together. We've seen, like, and you guys have shared my journey, especially this last 4 months. Things have flowed. Things have flowed. You know, like things like us getting out of Malta just in the nick of time, and finding a house here in the UK through another unfucker, and getting the dogs out without a problem, and Nick getting through Italy without there being a problem, to the point of the car breaking down 25 minutes from the house after driving like I don't know how many thousand kilometers to get there. Continues. I always try to put, it's like things like when this official paperwork and stuff like that, it's like, it's all coming through. It's all going to be absolutely fine. There's not going to be a problem. But there's been certain things that have been every single thing that I've touched. It's like I touch it and it just goes, shh. And to the point, just before we went, so I bought a secondhand laptop because my big baby is in bad shape. It needs to go into the repair shop and I've got one drive is missing off it. It refuses to even see the one drive that's in there. It's my big 1 terabyte drive, which makes me really, really nervous. So I got to send my big boy into the shop to be repaired. So I bought a cheap secondhand laptop from a laptop, like a refurbishment dealership. And I bought a Dell. It's the exact same model that I always used because I know the computer and I know they're pretty good. Everything I've touched on that laptop is just not working. Stupid little things. Stupid little things. Like, for example, one of the reasons I also wanted it was so that I could go outside and do the show sitting outside where it's lovely in the garden. You know, just nice. I plugged this webcam into it. I have the exact same program that runs this webcam on the laptop. It refuses to see that webcam. Same program, same laptop. Same program, same webcam. It works fine on this computer. You put it on the laptop, it won't. I spent half an hour today trying to make it talk to it, find it. Will not. Every bank that I've tried to contact to try and get a bank account here in the UK is either A, not called me back at all, no matter how many emailed me back, or when I've done online applications, they're just turned down instantly. Just turned down. And you sit there going, like, what's going on? What's going on?
Is that, I mean, not the PayPal, but the money you got in?
No, I got that, so that's all sorted. That finally got paid out, thank God.
Okay, good.
But little things. Certain things go ahead so perfectly. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is where I kind of said to Nick, it's the comparison between the reality we don't want versus the reality we do want. Everything I've done in my garden has been a success. I have transplanted plants that I thought there was no possible way they were going to survive, and everything. My garden is just gorgeous. Everything that I touch for Gaia's Garden, product-wise, I've put together a bunch of new products that I've just launched this week. Everything has come together perfectly, like as in no struggle. It just It flows. The stuff that is that I don't want to say I don't want, but the stuff that doesn't fit within that reality, i.e. the banking, i.e. government fucking shit, i.e. all that stuff, do you know what I mean? The external shit that's out there, it's falling to pieces. Literally falling to pieces. I go to use a website. The website just goes, just not working. Every career, we've had 3 packages, 3 career packages, 3 different companies, 1 going out that we were sending out, 2 that were incoming to us, where the packages have gotten lost. And not just lost, like their own tracking thing, it seems to be completely fucked. Either that or the people are lying to us on the phone continuously. And it happens once, it happens twice, but now we're dealing with the 3rd time, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how can this be like this? It's everything in that external reality, for lack of a better term, is just falling to pieces. It's literally just falling to pieces. Nothing works anymore.
I noticed my printer was malfunctioning yesterday. My wireless keyboard went crazy. I almost threw it through the window and started doing one of the monkey jumps on it. And so I sent Maurice out to get me a new, little wireless set. I mean, like everything, when it glitches, it's gone.
Yep.
Funny that you mentioned printer. I had just today and yesterday a fucking tirade with my damn printer. Same trouble here. I was literally about to execute that printer. Oh, and funny that you mentioned earlier plants, Danny. The park where I every evening the past few years I walk around, get some fresh air, some sun. So there was a fresh planted, a couple of years fresh planted a walnut tree. So everywhere else we have these big giant chestnut trees, but that tree that they planted there was from an initiative where they wanted to plant some trees where people can get some stuff from, right? Like some walnuts and stuff. So yesterday I stand there, I see the flowers bloom, and I couldn't believe my eyes. It turned into a chestnut tree.
Bossy, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. Right? Like, this is the kind of everything. When we moved into this house, you guys have seen the pictures of what this back garden looked like when we moved in. It was a jungle. No one had been in that back garden in 10 years. It's to throw shit out. All of my favorite things are in the back garden. I wanted elderberries because I'm like, this year, it's going to be the first year I'm going to be in England. I'm going to make elderberry cordial. I absolutely am going to. We have a tree in the backyard. I'm like, wonder what kind of tree this is. Posted a picture. Nick actually posted a picture on the UnFuckers to say, hey, does anyone know what kind of tree this is? And it turns out it's an elder tree. Massive elder tree. And it's all flowering now. I'm like, oh my God. I have 4 lilac trees in my backyard. Lilacs are like my most favorite tree of all time. And not just 4 different color lilacs. One of them is a completely different species of lilac that I've never even seen before. Roses. I love roses. We've just uncovered another rose tree. Another rose bush. Nick's favorite fruit on the entire planet is cherries. So there's a massive tree beside the house. Huge. Like, it's got to be 30 foot tall. And it all flowers this spring. Nick's like, oh, what kind of flowers are? We did search. It's a cherry tree. Like, there's going to be so many cherries, it's going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be freaking crazy insane. We walked out. We have a little green space park across the street. So I'm laughing, Bossy, when you said this, right? So we have this green space park. It's not big, but it's a lovely place to be able to go in the evenings. There's lots of trees here and there. It's not like a forest, but you know, there's some trees. And because the city's completely shut down, they haven't cut the grass, so the dogs fucking love it because they go galloping through this long grass and it's beautiful. I love flowers. Everywhere I go, I pick flowers. There's been there's buttercups in the field, there's some clover, there's a few little bits and pieces. Nick and I take the dogs for a walk last night, walk to the end. I'm like, oh, what are all those white flowers over there? Those weren't there, 2 days ago. I go over, I'm like, they're daisies. And I'm like, no, they're not daisies. And I pinch the yellow part and go, that's fucking German chamomile. You've got to be fucking shitting me. So I pick a couple of sprigs of it. Look, here's one of them, right here, in a little thing of water. Right? The typical bulbous little heads on them, little ball heads. Go and do a search, the whole bit, and I'm like, it's German. It's not even that it's English chamomile, it's fucking German chamomile, which is one of my most favorite essential oils ever, and one of my most favorite hydrosols ever. So I've just been saying to Nick, it's all over the place. It was not there 2 days ago. And now there's a stretch of like, I don't know, 20, 40 feet long and 3-4 feet wide of just fucking chamomile everywhere. Take my flower away. And I'm laughing because I'm just sitting there going, it wasn't there. I swear to cow, it was not there 2 days ago when we had a walk. But it is now. Because I wouldn't even recognize the leaves. Like, even if it didn't have buds on it yet, chamomile has a very distinctive leaf. It's very distinctive. I would have noticed it and been like, ooh, go watch this. No.
So the other thing I'm telling you that's weird is me and Maurice were in a meeting with Sonia Barrett. You know, it's just a small group. Jeff, you know, we're all in there. All of a sudden, this huge, I don't know what this thing was in my office. It's dive bombing me. I'm like on video, jumping over my desk. I'm like running from this thing. It's a fucking horsefly. It's that big. Maurice and I have never seen one that big. Like, they shouldn't even be over here. And we spent 30 minutes trying to kill this thing. I had to kill it with some roach spray. And I don't know if you just saw me get up with my fly swatter right now, but I just killed another one. And my neighbors have noticed that all the flies are humongous. And we don't live next to any fields.
So you're going to laugh because 2 nights ago, in one of my fits of complete exhaustion, I went to bed relatively early, like 10:30 at night. I'll just read for a little while. You know, you get into bed, you get your pillows just plucked, you get my tablet out, my glasses on, start reading my book, and there's bzzz. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Because you can tell, like, it's A10 warthog. Like, that's how loud this fucking thing is. And there's a fly, the same thing, that fucking big, flying around the room. I come downstairs, find the one fly swatter we have in the house, went searching all over that room, couldn't find it. Nick comes up to bed, I don't know, I'm just about to fall asleep. Nick comes up to bed maybe 45 minutes later. I'm like, good thing you're here. Take this fly swatter, find the fucking fly, and kill it. But same thing, it was like this, and it was fucking fast as it. Yeah.
What's that?
Radiation? Are they radiation flies? Radiation. Are we talking like, are they like turning into like mutant Superman flies now? I don't have a hairband. Shit.
You should have seen the mosquito I killed the other day. I couldn't believe it was a mosquito. What are in English those insects called that are literally a little bit like a mosquito, but they have these long, thin legs that are flying around?
That's mosquito hawk.
The mosquito hawks is what we call them, exactly.
Yeah, I thought at first it was one of those, so I wanted to catch it and let it free. But then it turned out I had to look twice. It had like literally that tiny little mosquito nose thing, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Oh, something else. Since you mentioned the thing with the manifesting, I noticed something very weird. I mean, I was pounding this topic for a couple of weeks, especially here in Germany, with the propaganda against conspiracy theories, right?
Yeah.
So last weekend, I just noticed it because it was on one of the forums, an international one, and they were picking up a comedian show they had from a female comedian that made a little bit fun of the quarantine and stuff, and she went a little bit into conspiracy theories. So everyone saw this one frame where she blinked like a reptile, right? Like you all probably all saw these videos of shapeshifters and the eye blinking. So in these videos you see the pupil blink, not the entire eye, as if that person has two eyelids. So they literally added one frame, one blink into this show, like from the state government TV station. They added it into this thing. Like you could see that this was CGI because the eyelashes vanished the moment that I blinked. Right, and it looked literally like a witch out of a fucking Exorcist movie. And then yesterday they had, when I hang up the laundry, I thought I was because my mom left the TV on, and I thought there was like a documentation about drug abuse. So because they had like a report that was literally based how that person lost friends and family, his face was blurred off, and then at the end they finally mentioned, and all of that because of conspiracy theories. So that was the next bit. Then the next report that they have was literally about a conspiracy in the German government with a minister that fudged the numbers so he can get through with it. And now imagine all of this. Maybe we are those creators that are so close to break through and manifest the reality that we want to see, that they have to pound all of this every week, every day now, so the people question it, right? And don't want to see it. And maybe,
no, Bossy, I'm not going to say you're wrong, because this is the kind of stuff that we're seeing now, right? What did I watch? I watched something. Oh, I don't remember what it was. Last week, I watched a video. I don't even remember what the topic was now, because I watched so many fucking videos. And I remember just sitting back and going, oh, isn't that interesting? How they're spinning this. And it was like, whatever the topic was, that there was this subtle spin to it that you think it was going to be really good. Like you really thought it was like, oh, wow, they're really, oh, wow, this is really cool. I can't believe they're saying this. And at the end, they spin it to basically make everything look stupid and everything to look ridiculous, etc. But the way they did it was so pathetic, so poorly done, that it was obvious. It was obvious, and to the point of, it was a friend of mine who's not very awake, who sent me the video saying, okay, like, I know there's got to be something wrong here, because the way they concluded that was so ridiculous that anyone who listened to it, they may have had them convinced all the way through it, but they fucking spun the end so obviously for an agenda that it was glaringly apparent to anyone who watched the video. Anyone that, and illogical, like how they were putting it together, like their conclusion they were drawing from all this information was so radically illogical that even people were like, yeah, that's pretty stupid. Are you all retarded in there? Because, wow. Everything I'm seeing, we were talking about before we went live. Everything that we see, there is this complete desperation. Complete desperation. Anne was talking about, there's a video, and I've got it wound up to watch, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet today, with Del Bigtree interviewing, oh God, help me, Anne, what was his name? Pro-vaccine guy. Anyone who was posted on Puckers this morning? Anne's looking it up for me. No, not Gates. He's interviewing. Oh, yes, I can actually see the guy's face.
Dershowitz or something like
Dershowitz,
that?
that's it. Yes. Thank you, Peg. Dershowitz. And Ann was saying, like, even with Del Bigtree taking it very easy and like not going rah 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 and freaking out, but keeping it real, kind of trying to keep it really on a certain kind of level. It was very, very clear that their agenda for mandatory vaccination, et cetera, for this COVID-19 is utterly going to fail. It's completely and utterly going to fail because they've done no safety studies. None. They've bypassed animal studies and gone direct to putting them on humans. And it's not working. Like, it's literally causing damage. It's this, but the safety aspect alone, no placebo tests, no, like nothing. The people are radically waking up. So apparently, Dershowitz is agreed to a public debate with Robert Kennedy. Oh, he's going to chew him up and spit him out sideways. It's going to be fun. I can't wait for that to come out. Everything is failing. Everything is failing. So, like, one of the things I want to bring up, because we were talking this before, there is a push, and we've talked about this for years, that there's a division push always. It's like the quintessential they, are always trying to divide, always doing everything they can to divide people, right? To cause contention, to keep people, like groups, angry at each other and fighting each other. So obviously if you're fighting each other, you're not going to turn and fight the bad guys because you're too distracted with fighting each other. And one of the things that we're seeing right now is that, oh no, it's not, someone's muted again, is this. We're seeing a lot of it in social media. We're seeing articles being pushed, and we're seeing posts being put out there saying, oh my God, I went out without a mask on and I got trolled by everyone and somebody yelled at me and screamed at me and lost their shit. And like, so apparently in Rhode Island, some poor guy was like chucked out of a store for not wearing a mask by the people in the store and the manager, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to ask here, we've got 30 people here with us live in Zoom. Have any of you personally, I'm not talking about my mom said, my brother said, my best friend's father said, personally, experienced anyone giving you a hard time for not wearing a mask or not wearing gloves or, okay, no. Okay. Yeah, everyone, no. Resounded, no. Okay? I haven't had a single problem. I've heard reports, people making posts from other areas of England being like, oh, the police are stopping me, the police are doing this, police are stopping people as they come out of the grocery store to go through their receipts to question where they only bought necessities. And I'm like, I haven't seen a single policeman since we've arrived. We've been here almost 3 months. I have not seen, other than like, the type of, you're driving down the street and you see another police car over there. I have not seen a single policeman. I've not seen anyone being pulled over. I've never had anyone give me even the smallest of dirty looks. And you guys know me, I don't go out in a mask or gloves or any of that fucking shit. I've actually experienced the opposite. I've had more conversations started up with people being like, all this craziness is just fucking crazy. This is ridiculous. And now, I'm not saying that these things don't happen, because we all know there's fucking crazy ass people out there. Seriously fucking crazy people out there. So You could very easily walk into a shop and be some lady, some crazed person, start freaking out just because, I don't know, they're wearing a mask, too little oxygen getting to their brain. I don't know. So I'm not saying it's not happening, but I think that it's not happening anywhere near as much as they're trying to make us believe that it's happening. And there's like this push, just as they've tried to push everything for like racism and sexism and immigrants versus, the national people, whatever, continuously. Now it's the mask wearers and the non-mask wearers. And that's the latest divisionary thing, and they're trying to do everything they can and push shit to make people freak the fuck out at each other. But the reality of it is, I haven't seen it. And no one here has experienced this.
I mean, I kind of seen the opposite. Every time I was like the last 2 weeks out shopping, especially the people working at the supermarket, yes, they have to wear a mask, but they are, how should I put it? They are pretending to wear a mask, so to speak. Like everyone has their nose free, nobody says anything because everyone is so fed up with wearing that stuff, and everyone kind of respects that in some way because, like, yeah, you are going shopping, you are annoyed for 30 minutes in the shop. Now imagine the shop clerk, right?
Yeah. Well, I went shopping today. Like I said, I went grocery shopping. I had to run out, just a quick grocery shopping, get some fresh produce and stuff. There was not a single person that worked in the store that had mask or gloves on. Not one. The security guy they have making everyone line up outside, there wasn't even a lineup this time. No mask, no gloves, no nothing. Even the little stand that was always there and has been for a month with bottles of hand sanitizer on it so you could squirt them on your hands, that was gone. There was one little older lady who had a mask on, like one of those paper type ones on, and there was a mother and her daughter that had like black fabric ones with the ear loops, and the daughter's was so big it was hung down to here. It didn't even fit her. It was like literally like this. That was it. No one gave a shit. One way or the other. No one gave a shit. It's kind of like, your choice is your choice. You feel you want to wear a mask? Okay, wear one. I don't care. It's not my choice. So I really believe that this is another divisionary tactic they're trying to push, and using social media to do it. Twitter posts and videos, etc. But I don't think it's anywhere near what they're trying to make us believe. Because I think the vast majority of people are just like, okay, wear one or don't. Okay, whatever. And the whole thing is like on social media is that faceless platform, right? You get faceless strangers who come and post on your wall and lash out at you because you're anti-mask views, or you're anti, this is a government conspiracy that you're pulling all this COVID is a pandemic. But they're just faceless people. You have no idea. Even if they're people that you know, do you really know them? Do you know what I'm saying? Like I had somebody come appear on my wall about 3-4 weeks ago, and I put a post up about COVID, and I'm like, who are you?
Yeah,
who are you? I even go to the thing about, he's not a friend of mine. He's not even a friend of any of my friends. So who the fuck are you? Come on, is my post.
Chill.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen them wish death on people because you're putting, I had to take on people that I know because they want to put their fear on me, and I'm not carrying their bullshit. I'm just not doing it. But it just brings out the ugliness like I've never seen.
Hey, next time some of these fuckers wish you death, tell them good luck. I'm behind 7 grams of vitamin C or something.
I just say mirror.
I got 7,000 milligrams of vitamin C. There ain't no fucking virus getting through that.
Yeah, I just say mirror, mirror, baby, mirror, mirror.
Yeah. No, this is the thing. They push these, but like this is the quintessential they, right? Anything they can use to divide and conquer. anything. They will grasp at any fucking straw they can. And this is the new one. Like, this is just the latest one. And they will turn anything into a divisionary tactic. So now it's like, whether you wear a mask or you won't wear a mask. Oh,
Now
well.
now they have us all getting ramped up for the second wave that's coming.
Exactly.
Yeah, the fall. That could be defined many things.
Yeah,
The
it could
fall.
do
The
It's gonna
fall.
happen in the fall.
And the fall.
And I think
Yeah.
they're gonna fall on their faces when they try.
But you know what's kind of interesting? I mean, everyone loses their shit lately on the social media about really non-things. But nobody is losing their shit that now we have Google, we have Apple. They have now the same power as your Homeland Security or whatever to scan everyone, contact tracing, whatnot, and that is not even regulated like the government is in those things. They have now the power that a secret spy agency has, and they have no goddamn laws to uphold or anything. They have free reign now, and nobody is going crazy about that. I mean, yesterday I read.
But how many people have woken up because of that contact tracing app? Like, I know a fuck ton of people, again, who, like, on Apple phones, that updated the fucking OS on the Apple phones, and everyone got this contact tracing app.
That's what I was about to say.
Not. But so many people were like, who, what now?
They made it a mandatory update.
No, I didn't consent to this.
They made it a mandatory update, slid in with some system upgrade, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way around that. So maybe
of course, there's always a way around it. But
you got to go into developer mode to stop the updates.
But here's the thing, though. They pushed this update, and all they did was wake up a shitload more people again. Because I got a friend of mine who is about as closed-minded, asleep as you can possibly fucking imagine, and he's a die-hard Apple user. Oh my God, if there's a new Apple phone out, he's got to have it right fucking now. Doesn't matter how much it costs. And he's just literally put a post out with that day that happened, went, why is there a contact tracing app on my phone now? I didn't say this could happen. I'm really like, what the hell? And he called Apple, and Apple was like, yeah, no, it's part of there. You're stuck with it. He was like, excuse me? Excuse me? I'm stuck with it? And the person on the phone got lippy with him. Kind of like along the lines of like, yeah, well then just you might as well just put away your iPhone and go get something else. And he was just like, yeah, I think I fucking will. And he was like literally trolling people in his wall, saying like, okay, polling them, being like, okay, if I'm going to get rid of my iPhone, what's the best phone I should go with? Like, give me your recommendations. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe he's going to get rid of his iPhone for the first time in however many long an iPhone has been out. That's the effect it had on him. This is a really guy, like I said, dead asleep. But they stepped over the line. They stepped over the line by putting this app on his phone that he did not consent to, and then told him there was no way for him to remove it.
Well, you can.
So they just woke up a shit ton more people. Yeah, but regardless, this is what I'm saying. Of course you can remove it. There's always a way to get around it.
Yeah, exactly.
Did the average person do it?
Yeah, the average person probably doesn't know and turn the cell phone in a brick doing it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I can only tell people, if you have like a phone and you're not feeling free with it, just read up how to rootkit your cell phone so you have your own OS on it and you're the lord of your own phone, so to speak.
Put a VPN on it.
Yeah, you could do that too, but what does a VPN do if your phone is hijacked with the OS, right? If you root it, you break the jail, you have your own operation system on there, and Apple
but again,
or
the problem
Samsung.
Is, Bossy, you're a tech guy, right? So you understand this shit. Me, it's stupid. I don't know how to do that crap.
Get a burner phone. Go get a burner phone.
And that's what I was just going to say.
Even better.
So instead, you go get a burner phone. This is my smartphone. It's stupid. It's my smartphone. I turn it on about once a week. Everyone laughs at me. Gail will try and call me and be like, turn on your damn phone. I never turned it on. I never even charge it. Let's see, does it even charge now? Let's. Yeah, it's not even turning on, so no. It's dead again, right? I'm gonna plug it in just to humor everyone in my family. But you know what? It doesn't leave the house. I don't take it with me because I don't fucking care. If I
Yeah,
need
but
someone needs to call me, get a burner phone. Go get like a secondhand Nokia indestructible freaking phone, toss a SIM card in it, and away you go.
But you might laugh. That is what I have been doing since that whole Corona shit happened. Since then, I've never taken my phone out with me. It just is here in my room and
Yep.
doesn't leave it.
Yep. If you really, really, really have to have an ability for people to get in touch with you, which I get, there have been times where I go out by myself when we were in Malta, not here, but when we were in Malta, and if I know I'm going to go out and do a bunch of shopping and the kids are at home, I will make sure I take my phone with me. So if something comes up at home, they can call me, right? But at no point in time will you see me sitting there in a shopping mall going, oh, I gotta check my fucking Facebook. Oh my God, I can't be without my smartphone for 5 minutes, because what if someone sends me a message on, I don't know, fucking Twitter, Facebook, whatever? Get rid of the thing. Leave it at home. Then no one can trace it. It just sits on your nightside table. As far as they're concerned, you never left bed all day. Burner phones are cheap. Get a burner phone.
If you want to go more creative and you have a dog at home, maybe you want to add that phone to the collar so people think you're moving actually.
Why? I wouldn't even give them the pleasure of that. Like, honestly, if this stupid thing here was an iPhone, it would sit next to my desk and not move. Because I don't fucking care.
I
Literally,
agree.
like, I don't.
I agree.
This contact tracing thing fucking sucks.
Bullshit.
It's bullshit. Don't get me wrong. It's illegal in
Yeah.
every fucking country of the world.
Yes.
It is immoral. It
Yeah.
is nasty, nasty, nasty fuckery. But, like I said, if you're really, really pissed, A, fucking, yeah, say something, do something, stand up. B, fucking leave your phone at home. Then they can't track jack shit.
But hey, the more disturbing thing is that this behavior is way too late. You would do contact tracing and the quarantine if that shit just got into your country. But it's already everywhere, so to speak, if it's a real virus and if that virus is
Exactly,
actually
Bassett.
real.
And this is what I keep saying. My head just keeps exploding. I'm pretty sure it was here in England, but it may have been Ireland. I can't remember because I was looking at the news and I can't remember which news site it was on. And they were talking about making, if you go out in public, you have to wear a mask mandatory. I'm like, you're late, guys, by 2 months. Like, if you tried to sell that one 2 months ago, the population would have probably been like, oh, okay, put on our masks. It's 2 months later. For fuck's sakes. Too late. It's too late to sell this. Walmart put it like a rule in the States, being like, you can't come into Walmart without a mask. It was the middle of May. Same thing. 2 months too late. What the hell? This contact tracing. You're 2 months too late, folks. If you really were serious, if they were really, really serious, that would have been what their top priority would have been the first week of March. Not the last week of May. Because who cares now? The case is, every single thing that they keep trying to present, whether it's new rules like, oh, you have to wear a mask, or new rules that, you know, this contract tracing apps must be on your phone, etc., which is what it's looking like in New Zealand and in Australia. Like, it's fucking scary. Like, we're talking fascism is at the highest level down in New Zealand and Australia at the moment. Okay? It doesn't make logical sense. Anyone with a brain cell can look at this and go, oh, that ain't fucking right. Like, what the hell? Give me a break. Except as a continuous perpetuating fear machine. Continuously putting it in your face. Here's another reminder. Here's another reminder. Here's another. Oh, and in case you missed 5 minutes ago's reminder, here's another reminder. Be angry. Be angry. Be afraid. Be angry. Be afraid. They are literally putting out any piece they can, regardless of how foolish it is, to try and maintain this thing, this imaginary thing.
Facade.
It's a
whole
facade. It's a facade. It's been seen through. It's been clearly seen through. Now, I don't, whether you like him or not, doesn't matter. Was it is his name Dr. Bashar? Is that it? Guy who's done all these videos? He was on, apparently I just don't talk English today and my brain is turned off. The guy who interviewed David Icke and all these big guys. He wears the really bad suits with the really bad ties. And he's got his own web show.
His name is Brian Rose.
Brian Rose, right, got it. Brian Rose. He had Bashar on, London deal, yeah. A couple days ago, they had 110 or 120 doctors on with them live. Live. And I didn't listen because I just can't be bothered anymore. It's like, I got the facts. I know the facts. I don't need to listen to people rehashing the facts. But the very fact that they put out a video, there's a 2-hour video with something like 110, 120 doctors just destroying the COVID narrative. The facade is broken. They cannot support this facade. The story is insane and they can't support it. It comes back to the same question I keep asking every fucking week. How did they think they were going to sell this to the public and maintain the facade? Like, what did they really think that they were going to somehow be able to pull this bullshit off and convince everyone in the world that it was real? Or what do they know? What do they know that is going to make it all irrelevant?
Yeah, why do they have us all focusing on this? What's coming around the corner that this has nothing to do with? That I've been saying that too, girl. It was never going to be about vaccinations, everybody.
But they'll play that card. They'll play that card. They'll play that card. They'll play that card.
Yeah.
They're never going to sell the mandatory vaccination. They're never going to sell it. Not to the public, not on a grand countrywide scale. It will never happen because there's just now too much medical information out there disproving everything they said about the COVID shit. There is now too much information out there, publicly available information, showing that the vaccine trials were a complete disaster. And there's too many people who that have a line in the sand. Now, their line in the sand may be a fuck of a lot farther out than where our line in the sand would be, but the line in the sand is still there. And if you turn around and all of a sudden you say, you are going to get vaccinated, or we're going to take away your driver's license, your passport, we're not going to let you go to work, we're not going to let you go to the grocery store, we're not going to let you do this, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? It's going to be like my buddy with his fucking iPhone, where they're going to be like, hey, excuse me? I don't fucking think so. And that's like a massive waking point for the entire planet. You are going to have a certain percentage of people who, of course, are going to accept this vaccine. But the vast majority are not. And the moment you say you have to have it, and we're going to take away all your rights, oh, fuck.
But I think that was actually the main intent, to roll out the mark of the beast system. You have to be microchipped. You have to accept now cryptocurrency.
Bill Gates' wet dream? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But see, since already that virus facade is breaking down, it gets harder and harder to justify these things. So, but I mean, from what I know through the years, was always the New World Order was always late in their timetable. the time was running out for them, and
Yeah.
especially this world scenario right now, you can see it clearly. They were too late with everything they did, and especially since
and
they
they
botched
still
up
are,
the time. Yeah,
right?
exactly. But
They still
especially
are
since
too
they
late.
fucked up the timing, they didn't get the consent of the population, right?
Yep. This is what I'm saying. Like, we keep going back and forth this whole thing, and we've had this conversation since January a lot, right? New World Order. They're trying to put the New World Order into place. Yeah. No question. Like I said, this RFID chip vaccine, mandatory vaccine, a la Bill Gates' wet dream. Yeah, of course that was their plan. Doesn't mean it's going to pass. Doesn't mean it's going to work, because everything else they've done has fucking failed so far too. It's not. They can't sell it, and one of the reasons they can't sell it is because, like we said, they're 2.5, 3 months behind on everything they've brought forward so far. They're not going to sell it. We now got, for example, in the States, business people are standing up by the droves. By the droves. Business people are standing up going, I'm fucking done with this shit now. You wanted us to 2-week lockdown? We gave you 2 weeks. Okay. Now we're fucking done with this shit. You're not taking away my business from me. You're not destroying my business. And it's really interesting. So I went on, as an aside, looking at banking accounts, right? Trying to look for bank accounts. Oh, what did I manifest? A fucking ad come up on my Facebook for Lloyd's Bank, one of the biggest banks in England. And it was some stupid, disgusting appeal to the public to try and smooth things over. Of like, oh, are you having a problem with your overdraft fees? Oh, contact us. Maybe we can help you. 189 comments. Scathing. Every single person that commented was like, you fucking suck. Yeah, we're behind on our overdraft fees. And you're not helping. You didn't do anything to help. I called, they called, everyone called, was like, call us, maybe we can help. No, you can't help. You have no interest in helping. None whatsoever. You're not going to give anyone a break on their overdraft fees or anything. You're just going to nail everyone. I couldn't believe the amount of comments, and every single one of them was unbelievably negative and vile. And that's the way it's going. Like Bill Gates's Instagram posts that end up with, like, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of hate mail comments he got on those, and the YouTube videos. People are putting this shit out, and they're just getting slaughtered, like instantly, like Caslamo. People aren't having it. They're not buying it. Which is why I keep going back and asking this question. Did they really think that they could sell this shit? Did they really think they were going to be able to pull off this shit in such a way that the public would, not only swallow it whole, but that they wouldn't turn around and rip their fucking throats out when it all fell apart?
I mean, if it worked the first 100 times, they're so arrogant and think, why wouldn't it work this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I find myself.
But it hasn't worked the first 100 times.
Yeah, but okay, so let's kind of step back here. Let's think about this on a little bit higher level. So if we know everything's energetic, what is this accomplishing? What does the universe recognize as far as what it's seeing coming from our realm? Even if people, you know what I mean? What is it? What are they? You know what I mean, though. You know what I'm saying here. What is the goal? What are they setting us up for on the energetics? Is like my question. And I know that like Bitcoin and wanting to go into that whole type of system would be part of it. But I just find myself thinking to, what it's like, for example, like the word pray and pray. Like it means so totally two different things. But which one does the universe recognize?
Intent.
See,
It recognizes
these are
the
the questions
intent.
I ask.
That's it.
You see what I mean? Like we're duped on spelling. We're duped on so many, even like this, if you don't adhere to the voluntary quarantine, then we're throwing your fucking ass in jail. Okay, is that double speak or what? So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm like, okay, I find myself going there, y'all.
Yeah, well, this is my whole thing, and that's why I was talking about, like, the shit in my reality that is falling apart is all that shit. It's all that shit. It's banking, it's finance, it's payment systems, it's websites, it's not my bubble.
It's non-essential things, right?
It's exactly, well, there are essential things in this reality. They're essential, i.e. bank accounts, etc. But they're not in your bubble. It's
Yeah,
not
but
the
if
shit that you physically, emotionally interact with. Like I talk about my family. Everything in my family is great. Everyone's doing awesome. They've been locked in this fucking house for fucking months. But you know what? All my kids are doing really, really well. We have a garden. We love our garden. We have our dogs. We love our dogs. We go for walks. The things that are important are just fine. We have good food to eat. We have a house, a roof over our head. Those pieces are coming together, and that's where like that instant manifestation is kind of happening. Like all of a sudden you just find your favorite tree in the backyard, or your favorite rose bush, or those kinds of things. But the external, the program of there we go. If we're going to look at it as a matrix program, the program that is running the reality, that shit is completely broke. It's just falling to pieces. It's completely falling to pieces now. And daily, I see it every single day. And it's almost like an indicator. You can almost use it like an indicator of like, this piece is falling apart. Does that mean that piece is part of the matrix? I.e., it's not within my personal bubble sphere reality? I don't know.
How about on a spin-off from like adding to what Dawn's talking about is think about us as human beings and social people. We need tribe, we need connection, and they're destroying that connection. Yep. So it's causing a lot of stress, perhaps on an energetic level, which is a lower vibration feeling because everybody needs that connection. I'm fortunate enough, I live in a household with a family, so I still have that. My mom lives with my sister. She still has that. But there's a lot of people, there's a 90-year-old man across the street that's by himself. We make sure we visit or get his groceries or do something for him. So there's a disconnection between people, and we're social people. We need that. There was a book written by Sebastian Junger called Tribe, and it describes that exact need for connection. They've severed that.
But isn't it interesting, Nancy, that if we'd had this conversation 6 months ago, the vast majority, and I'm going to say the vast majority of the general public wouldn't have had a clue what we were talking about.
You're right.
But now they get it. And they're standing up and being like, I will go fucking see my grandma. I don't fucking care. 6 months ago, they would have been like, oh, Mom, do I have to go see grandma this week? I'll go next week, I promise. Now it's like, no. I'm going to see my fucking grandma, and you ain't going to fucking stop me. People are recognizing that connection. Once it's severed,
yes.
now they see it, and they're like, holy shit, I need human interaction. I literally, again, one of my friends who's a teacher broke down in a video. It was like, you know what? I miss my little kids in my class hugging me. And she was just like, I never thought the day would come. Because she used to always bitch about, I'd go home, I got little greasy marks all over me from all the kids. They'll like paint every piece of clothing. She's ruined with paint and all the rest of it. And she literally broke down, was like, I never realized how much those little hugs meant to me until they were taken away. And now all of a sudden, like, people are getting it now. Like, people are, and the amount of people who I've literally seen post saying, thank God I have my dog. Thank God I at least have my cat. Something, because they can.
Of course. And you know what our retarded prime minister did was when the people were doing window visits to the people in the senior home, he says, oh, no, you can't have window visits. And that's what told me there's something bigger happening when he said no window visits.
Seriously?
Well, Doug Ford, who I don't really like, but he stood up to him and said, like, basically, fuck that. You can have window visits. Like, so what are they? So window visits, that doesn't violate.
Sit there and go, okay, I'd never heard that before.
I'll see if I can find the reference for you, Danny, because it was a fact. So I'll get you the proper reference.
Tell you what,
Maybe.
That's shocking. And those are the moments, Nancy, you're right. Those are the moments when you go, oh, there's a lot more going on here. Because,
yes.
And anyone in the general public who he offended by saying that would be sitting there going, excuse me? Through a window, we can't get.
Right. It doesn't make
so
any
what's
sense.
your logic? It doesn't make any sense. Click, 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 click. All of a sudden, the wheels start turning, right?
I would have gone in there with my friends with the armed militia and gotten my fucking mom or dad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just, there's a certain line when you know that there's bullshit involved.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I don't have any family in long-term care. There's a lot of people that do, including the premier of our province, and he was like just livid. And of course, I don't know if you guys have heard the reports, but of the abuse in the long-term. Yeah, so
I'm just going to comment on that.
Yeah.
By the way,
So
do you guys?
Go ahead, Bossy.
Do you guys remember the stories that came out of the esoteric spectrum and alien spectrum like a couple of years ago, where they were all talking about those star children that are born to raise the vibration, and they had nothing else to do, just be themselves, be in the middle of the humans and raise their vibration. Now I have a riddle for you. What is almost an arm length and is a field that your body projects? It's your magnetic field, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
no, absolutely.
Since you can't get that close anymore together, what is, since you mentioned there's a lot more happening, what is, if that has to do with the magnetic fields and sharing stuff like?
I do, Bossy. I think you're absolutely right. I think that part of that 6 foot separation, 10 foot, 15 foot, whatever it is to separate those energetic fields. I do think so. I think that is definitely on some level, because I don't think they think that that's not your low management, but your upper management, I think they're absolutely thinking that shit. Hi, Amina.
Okay, so on that note, I think that, there is something about the word authority that is being played out here. So what is authority? The word comes from author, right? So author is the one who writes the script. And what do we write the script with? If we're the author, we write the script with our mind, with our consciousness, with our intent. And so the battle for authorship is really what's going on, the battle of authority. And those that have been in authority, they've been in this, if you look at the ratio of those not in authority to those in authority, they were very strong, but we've grown in so many ways, not only just in numbers to outnumber them, but we've grown to a tipping point of even if you distance people and you ask them to stand apart, that aura that is supposed to be that size grows. It's been growing.
Exactly.
So we are connecting further afield.
Yeah.
The field is growing with us. So we are the authors of that field, and we're creating that field, and there's not much they can do about it. If the 2012 to 2020 was according to their plan, which I don't think it was, then they could have done it. But this 2012 gap that we've had is basically what has helped us win. I do believe that they're toppling and they're going down like dominoes, and we are the ones who are really creating the authorship now. We're writing the script. And as soon as we sync with each other, as soon as we have each other's backs, or we empathize, we use that core empathy and understanding between one another, and we know much more, we go into the field, that vortex space, a whole lot more connected. And it doesn't matter if you separate us, we're still getting more connected. So the further you distance people, the more their minds and hearts are connecting to one another. And that's our battery that operates the authorship system. So we're really winning by, I would say, the waking up is not a mental wake up. The waking up is a empathetic wake up.
Yeah.
It's generated through heart.
But I think it's the multi-layers of it, right?
Yeah.
The one leads to the other and vice versa. So going back to what
Yeah,
Nancy
they're
was saying
connected.
about the what's going on in the care homes, in the nursing homes in Ontario. And if you don't know about this, the Canadian military went into a bunch of the nursing homes and found out that the state of them was appalling. Like horrific shit that they discovered in these nursing homes and care homes. General public. So we've watched this slide over the last 3-4 generations of older people not getting any respect anymore, and older people not being taken care of by the families. And as soon as they get to a stage in their life where they require more assistance than the family can offer, or think they can offer, they get put into a nursing home. That is this, it's an invisible barrier, right? Like taking them out of the family home, you're putting them over here. You're taking them, their energy, etc., and you are putting it somewhere else. As we're seeing this shit play out right now, the amount of people who I have seen on social media who are freaking out because they had no idea the shit that's gone on in these old age homes. And I'm not talking about the generation let's see, someone who is in their 50s, 60s, and their parents are in an old age home. No, the younger generations, because the grandchildren, in some cases the great-grandchildren, have no clue what's been going on. And now they have this massive wake-up point, and they're like, it's not going to fucking happen. Not going to fucking happen on my watch. Like, as in when my parents, if it's the grandchild, is saying when my parents get older, they're not fucking going into a nursing home. I don't fucking trust those assholes, not for love nor money. And I think it's kind of like the same thing that we've seen with the homeschooling. Everyone was forced to homeschool, and now there's like shit tons of mainstream news articles of families going, yeah, no, I'm not sending my kids back to school. This has been awesome. I really enjoyed this. We're going to continue homeschooling. You're going to see the same thing, like, for example, in the care homes, where families are going to go, no, we're not sending our older people off to care homes. We're going to take care of them at home. We're going to look after them here. And if we have
that was all part of separation. They start by separating children from parents.
Exactly.
Instead of having children working with their parents at home, doing home things and learning trades from their forefathers.
Yeah.
And then they go to separate. They separate parents from one another, so that both parents go to work, and then they separate the elderly from the family. But what is it about that family? What is it about the people being together that is so destructive to their plan? It is because we are energetic, and being together, our DNA, our memory in the DNA lasts at least 7 generations. When we have that resonance, that memory, we can be born with memories of forefathers that we never knew because they passed away before we were born. We can be born with their memories, their traumas, but they're also their strong resonance as well, their positive resonance. So when we are together, that all magnifies. And if it is traumatic or it's been there's been some dis-ease in it, then that can heal when it's together. But when you separate it, it becomes more traumatic. So it's basically stretching us out and apart, but it's not working. I really don't see it working. I see that the further apart that they push us, the more that we energetically collide and sync with one another.
I agree.
And I don't think they knew that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like everything that they've done over the last 4 months, every step that they have taken over the last 4 months has galvanized more people to wake up, more people to step up and say, no. Or, like I said, like with homeschooling, all of a sudden go, gee, you forced us into this. I'm really glad you did, because now I know I fucking like it. And there was a big article in one of the Canadian news stories about how many business women are deciding to not go back to work because they've been at home with their families and going, this is fucking awesome. I love educating my kids. I love being with my family. Who knew? Because, kids have been farmed off since they were a year old in Canada. If you're in America, they've been farmed off since they were 6 weeks old. So a vast majority of people have never really had the time to spend together as a family unit. They have no idea. They have no idea at all, right? So all of a sudden, 2 months of lockdown, they got to experience that. And it gives a radical shift in perception of what, A, they've been missing out on, and B, how they want to go forward. And what changes they're willing to make in order to go forward the way they want.
And let's use their lingo against them. And everyone sees now what really are essential things to have around and what you can literally throw in the garbage, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I keep so go ahead, Nancy.
No, I have a question about the treatment of our elderly and people that are disabled that get put into homes. Is this primarily a North American thing? Because it was my understanding that Asian cultures respect their elders, and quite often the grandma is the head of the family unit, and everybody consults with grandma or grandpa before. So if anybody can chime in on that, I'd appreciate it, because I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah, here that is the case, and I'm in Asia, I'm in Southeast Asia, and it's definitely grandparents are highly respected. So we've just had a religious festival which is called Hari Raya here, or Eid, and the government had to allow people to visit their relatives. So they were allowed to visit within certain boundaries, like the number of people, 20 in one house, 20 families, 20 members of a family can be together, but everybody was allowed for one day to be with their families and respect their elders, because it's so ingrained in the culture that even COVID-19 can't stop it. Yep. So they did allow that, and everyone posted pictures of being together in family units, and it's always the elders are the ones sitting in the most prominent chair in the picture center, and they are the ones that everybody has to gather around. They're respected.
Yeah,
it's very, very deeply ingrained, and they are respected. And in certain areas, it's definitely the matriarch of the family that has the most respect. So you can't wipe that out. That's a cultural thing that is very difficult to wipe out with political stimulus. It's not going to work. So
when I lived in Thailand, one of the things that I loved, and I spent time in Vietnam, I spent time in Cambodia, I lived in Thailand, even down to Malaysia. The respect for elders is the societal norm. As a matter of fact, I used to joke, I used to go on public transit all over the time in Bangkok. And if an old man or an old woman got on that bus, there would be a rush of people standing up. A rush. Like it would be a race to who could stand up the fastest and escort them to a chair. Literally.
Yeah, and
that's not,
everybody addresses.
It's very, very profound to watch the respect that they have for their elders.
Yeah, everybody addresses an elderly stranger as grandma or grandpa out of respect. They don't just call them ma'am or sir. They literally call them grandma, grandpa, or uncle. And when my mum in 2002 was released from hospital in the UK, and I was told that she needed 24-hour care, we had an option to put her in a nursing home in the UK, but I chose not to. And even though I was down and out myself, I brought her back to Malaysia and brought her to stay at home with me. And so I had to hire somebody to help me in the house, but it was so much more worth it. I mean, she outlived the doctor's expectations by 13 years because she was at home and she was taken care of. And we built the routine around her. And everybody that I know here understood that, completely understood that. And, you know, there was cultural society support for it. I wouldn't have had that if I stayed in the UK with her. Nobody would care. So there is a difference between the East and the West.
It's
profound difference.
It's radical, and that was I was just going to say the same thing. It's like all you'd have to say is, you know, to a job, any work, anything that you did would be like, I have to go home now. My grandma needs me. Yes, you go. Like, your grandma needs you. You fucking go right now, and you make sure grandma's okay. Does grandma need anything? Should I send something with you for grandma? Like, that is the level. And people in North America and Western Europe as well, they've lost that. And that's when we were talking about the COVID-19 and we were talking about the death rates and talking about the fact that Japan doesn't have these massive death rates. How could Tokyo have so few fucking deaths to COVID-19? The city is packed. Like, it's like one of the busiest, most packed cities in the world. So few deaths. People were at the very beginning, especially in March and April, but India's lying. India must be lying about their death rate because they've got, what was it, 2.2 billion people, and they've got only like 200 deaths. Number one, guaranteed grandma and grandpa are not in a nursing home or an old age home getting shot up with every flu vaccine, getting shot up with every medication. They're in the family's home being looked after by the family. They're being fed by the family. They're getting the best possible care they can have because that is what is the society's norm in those places.
Yeah, and
right?
the immune systems are pumped. And their immune systems are pumped because you have constantly contact with them. You go out, you go back in. Yep. And they are loved, right? That stuff that we don't have here anymore. Especially since you guys mentioned that there was like a couple of years ago, someone who was trying to troll in Germany, somewhere over Twitter, someone like, "Oh, you still living at home?" And then a few people were making fun, and then people from all kinds of cultural places came together and said like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm as a Muslim, I still live at home because I'm not married yet. Why would I live somewhere else? I want to live with my family and my parents,
Hold
right?
on, bossy. Jess, can you mute, please? There we go. Jess, are you trying to say something? I don't know if you're actually trying to talk or if your mic is just getting all screwed up. Because if you are, you're breaking up really bad. And this is the thing. One of the things I talk about is like, if they can separate, so we always talk about, for example, the separation of the family bonds as from the angle of the children, i.e. public education and daycare, and get both parents fucking working so that the state ends up raising their child, and the breaking of those bonds. But the bonds in the other direction are just been equally controlled and broken in what we do with our elderly people, right? The elderly people keep our knowledge. They're the ones who can tell you what really happened in 1950, what really happened, when they launched the rocket to the moon. These are the people who can tell you the day-to-day stories about what the changes they've seen through their lives. Now, if you're going to fuck with reality, which they have been, and institute a new world order, these people, I wish my grandma and my grandpa were still with me. I wish, because you'd be guaranteed I'd be talking to them going, okay, so like what really went on in the Second World War? Because I got fucking questions now. Right? But you've locked those people away and you're full of drugs that give them Alzheimer's, right? So they can't remember, and you treat them like imbeciles, and you overdiagnose Alzheimer's, senility, dementia, etc., because they're on probably a shit ton of drugs for a heart and their high blood pressure, but they're low blood pressure and they're this and they're that, and you wonder why they're mentally confused because they're taking 15 drugs that counteract each other. This is all done on purpose. It's all fucking done on purpose. That's another factor of the separation of the family.
We've even seen it. I'm sorry. We've even seen it in our UU group with Andrea, always coming in and talking about her dad and all the challenges she's had to face over the last year getting help for her dad.
Yep.
I don't think Andrea's here today. I just looked through the
I haven't seen her today.
Yeah, but she quite often would post in our group about the challenges she faced with her father in that nursing home. And she was his only advocate. So as soon as they cut that off, there's nobody there to oversee any of it.
Nope, there's no one to stand up for him now. There's no one.
No, and it's unfortunate because I was lucky to know my great grandmother, and she was Italian. She could speak 6 languages. She was a wise old lady, and that's where we're losing our knowledge. Just like you said, they carry our history. There's also wisdom that comes with age.
Yes.
And so that wisdom is worth sharing, and that's probably why grandma or the matriarch is the head of the household, because she's got the wisdom years.
Yep. Listen, my grandma, in the very end, she was 94 when she passed. And in the end, she had cancer of the bladder, which when the doctor told her, you've got cancer, she was like, I don't care. No, I'm not going to accept your damn treatment and your pills and medicines. Why? I'm 93. I'm not going to take any treatment. Give me a break. And she moved, my Auntie Jean, my dad's older sister, brought her into the house, said, no, Grandma, now that you're at this stage, like to the point where she was having physical problems looking after herself, moved her in. And when the doctors were trying to sell my Auntie Jean on hospice care for my grandma, my Auntie Jean ripped a strip off them, the likes of which, I wish I'd seen a video of it. My dad was there. It was hysterical, apparently. And my Auntie Jean, you have to understand, is about 4'11" cubed. And she just went off to the point of almost physically threatening an orderly who was literally 2 foot taller than she was. And at that time, my Auntie Jean was at least 69 when she was advocating for my grandma. She was like, no, she will stay at home with us and you will supply us with a full-time nurse. That's how this is going to roll. And they did. That's exactly what they did. They supplied a full-time nurse. So they had a nurse that was there 24 hours a day in case she needed anyone. And she spent basically the whole time playing cards with them. Because my grandma Dolly was a tough old lady who didn't give in to anything.
And in some ways too, Danny, this has failed our younger generation, because haven't we seen a demonstration of the selfishness of this? Not everything. I hate making sweeping generalizations about any group of people. And I don't even know if it's media propaganda, but we are seeing a certain amount of selfishness. And I can say from my own experience, my son has a core group of 5 friends. 2 of them don't give a frig. Oh, I don't care. Unless it affects someone in my family, I don't care. And it's like, really, guys? Come on. That's really selfish.
I'm going to back that up because I'm seeing that too. with all of my friends' kids, and they really don't care. They're very selfish.
But it's a lot of programming, right? This was what I'm saying. Like, there is a continuous blame game. Isn't that funny how they always got to like put one generation against the other generation, another form of division? For a while it was like, oh, against the millennials. The millennials are all useless. They're all fucking, this, they're that, they're the other thing. Now we got, Generation Z. And we're getting this same kind of shit being thrown out. It's like, okay, first off, the millennials especially, or the millennials at the beginning, the Generation Z is the first generation to really be completely raised 100% by the state. They were raised on video games. They went to daycare. They didn't have a parent home to look after them. They went to school. They were propagandized. They were programmed in school. They were programmed by the media. They got their Disney channels. They got their, which is nothing but hard fucking core programming. They got put into these institutions to supposedly be educated. They're the first generation of full-on mind control with no checks and balances.
I mean,
the earlier levels of the millennials, a lot of them still had a parent, like a mom who was at home with them, or they came home at 4 and from school and they had that interaction. We didn't have fucking video games. We didn't have fucking the kind of shit. Like, we went out and we played in the neighborhood, and we played at our best friend's family's house where it was their grandma who was looking after them, etc. There was always that something there. So yes, we're dealing with, and I know because I've seen it in the friends of my kids. Yes, but these kids have been so mind controlled and programmed from infancy.
Yes and no, Danny. I mean, you're absolutely right with a chunk of them, but there's also, we all have been teens, right? We all have been rebelling against what our parents liked and what we liked, right? So you have this rebellion there also. Like, the state comes up and tells them, oh, you have to like this and you have to like that. For them, it's lame, right? A lot of people in that age group see it all as lame. And also, yes, they have been raised with a lot of technology and stuff, but how should I put this in words? For us, we think, or we say we are red-pilled, but these kids have been growing up, they are beyond red-pilled. They're already black-pilled. They know there is not really a future for them in this society.
Exactly.
See, they had technology.
Okay.
They had technology at their hands. They could research quickly stuff that we couldn't, where we had to go in a library and search for days until we found what we wanted to see. So yes, there is this chunk that is deeply mind-washed and brainwashed and literally loyal like a beaten dog, so to speak. But there's also the other part that is rebelling against this stuff. Like, their view is, yeah, I don't give a fuck anymore because this represents the old failed system and I don't care for it. But that
it goes
doesn't
deeper
mean
than
they're
that,
selfish.
Bossy. I agree. I completely agree with what you say, but it goes deeper than that. And this is the discovery that I had with the teenagers I was talking with in Malta. And these kids, and their whole thing was, they knew it was there. They knew it was going on. And the reason they didn't care is because they knew they didn't have a voice. They knew there was nothing they could do to change it. And it was fucked. And they were fucked, and they knew they were fucked. And there was no escape.
Remember when Fauci and Trump and that other woman, I forget her name, she got up there and she called out this generation and called them the chosen ones. It's like they've marked them because they know that's how they feel. And that I believe they feel let down by everybody, honestly. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why they've been marked as the generation. So when they come out with this tech and stuff to bring this whole realm to a whole new level, they're going to be leading the charge.
They will be. And that's exactly. They will be. They will be the ones who will choose that. They will choose to plug into the AI and go live a video game life, A, because it's familiar to them, and B, because this reality fucking sucks. They don't have a hope in hell. So, God damn it, I'll take whatever fucking route out there is. You got a better one for me? Awesome, I'll fucking take it. Yes.
That's true. They think that from what they see, we've all let them down. So, I mean, they walk with that. And I feel that. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
And when they actually verbalize that on national television, you knew. You knew.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree 100%. And this is where whenever these generational slurs come up, I hate them. And I literally rebel. And one of my kids turned around one day, I can't remember what I was ranting about something, I guess, very old person like. And one of my kids turned around and went, yeah, okay, boomer. And I literally, my head exploded to the point of all my kids were like, and I was just like, don't you fucking dare ever.
No, they didn't say that, did they?
Oh, they did. And I said, it's not about me. It's like, if I ever hear you guys using those programmed words, those programmed responses, like, so no, the new one is, yeah, Karen, right? If you speak out about anything or you complain about everything, yeah, Karen. That meme has been very carefully implanted, and that's the go-to. And when I see that, those little pieces of programming, I hate it. My entire being goes, oh. And it's another divisionary point. It is another divisionary point. And that's why I fucking defend the young people morning, noon, and night. And I have done for 15, 20 years because I've seen it. I've seen the lost children. They are the lost children. And Ann and I have had a conversation going for a long time that these kids came in. If you want to go and look at it on the energetic, these kids came in and they did not get what they were expecting. There should have been a support structure in place for them to come in, to be able to shine their light, so to speak, and just be, but it wasn't there. And there's an in-between generation that just kind of got taken out. So they came into this unprepared. And I honestly, there's a part of me who believes that a lot of the autism that we see is actually from these little beings just shutting down. Because the shock of landing in this reality is so unbearable that they literally, their being just shuts down. I don't know, darlings. I don't know. Got no answers.
Right on the money. I mean, I feel it in my own nervous system as you're talking about it, okay? I mean, you know, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, if these kids are selfish, I mean, beyond the programming, they kind of have a right to be in some ways. In that way of like, what they have, whatever it is that they have, it's all they're going to get. So they're going to hang on to it no matter what it takes. Because they ain't getting anything else. They can already see that. Their futures are fucked in this reality.
You know what, too? And it depends on how young they are as well, because, you know, their prefrontal cortex is not really fully connected until they're 25. And that area of the brain is responsible for consequences and, you know, things like that. Like, so maybe they're just, you know, it's part of just who they are at that young of an age as well, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a reflection on who they will become,
Yep.
right? But it's
none of us are like we were as teenagers, let's face it.
No, I mean, you really have no sense of mortality or anything like that when you're at that age. It's only when you get to my age where you start thinking about the years you have left, kind of deal, right? When you're that age, you don't think about that. Like when I was 17, you know, 30 was old, right? And my bar for old keeps going up.
Don't say that. Oh, Nancy, come on.
Oh, I don't feel old. You know what? here's the beautiful thing is that, you know, you get to be 57 like me and you get your wisdom, but in my mind, I still feel like I'm 24 years old.
I had this conversation with my daughters literally 4 days ago, 5 days ago. Exactly this conversation.
Okay, cool.
You look at me like I'm an old lady, but you have to understand, I feel like I'm like, you know, I don't feel like an old lady. There is no old lady time that kicks in, you know? That's
No,
not the
there's
way it
not.
works. It's not how this shit works, trust me. Yeah. Well, darlings, we are at the end of our time, and oh, look, my internet is getting sketchy. Of course, because it's the end of the show. I'm going to put out a quick little plug, a little commercial plug here for everyone. I want to introduce you guys to my new product, and that is our Extremities Remedies. It's a hand and foot balm invented for the gardeners and the healthcare workers and the mechanics and the fishermen and all the people whose hands and feet look like shit. It's like a mask for your hands. There you go.
And is that because you gardened a lot lately, Danny? You needed some?
Oh, literally, my hands were so bad.
Yeah.
My hands were so bad. It was like, the next product I'm developing is a healing hand balm, because I was like, all between my fingers was cracking. My cuticles were literally ripping off in chunks because you're just in the soil and the dirt continuously. And the other thing is I've just relaunched the balms. Our bee balms have just been relaunched again. I can't hold these all up. So our Be Soothed, Be Better, and Be Gone. The Be Soothed balm is for really, 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 really dry skin and chapped, irritated skin. And then our Be Better balm is for healing, for scar tissue, and get everything to heal up nice and easily, and dealing with the irritation and when we're healing from burns and cuts and scrapes. And my Be Gone balm is like this in my house is the Boo Boo balm. This is called Boo Boo balm in our house. And that's to make sure you don't get infections and to clean out. That's like seriously high test, antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral, everything in a jar for boo-boos. So that's our Boo Boo balm, but it's called the Be Gone balm if you're looking for it on the site. As a side note, we're in the middle of trying to change over the fucking payment system and the shipping fucking system, but everything that's technology that I touch is fucking falling to pieces. So if you're trying to place an order and you can't get it to go through, send me an email and I will manually process the order for you until I fix this goddamn website.
By the way, I've been using your reset, and oh my God, it makes me look younger. It's like I've put a filter over the camera or something when I've been using it. Oh gosh, since I got it from you, maybe before you moved, and so I'm just like so excited. I don't know what's it. It's almost, that's got C60 in it, right?
Yes.
Because like to me, this is the miracle molecule. My son had some ingrown hairs on his leg, and I said, oh, let me put the black seed and C60 on it. Gone, just like that. It's like a smart molecule. I don't understand it at all, but if the reset has it, I was just so happy because like Zoom has like this filter that you can put on that makes you look better, right? And so I always liken it to putting the Zoom filter on, because my husband says, oh my God, he says, you don't even look like you're 57. I put the camera on right now, but I haven't even gone to bed yet. So I look a little worse for wear and tear. Yeah, I know, Danny, I know.
Oh, you and your schedule, you're even worse than I was.
Yeah, I know.
No, my reset serum is probably the #1 product that I make. And that's everyone asks me, like I send out samples to everyone. Whenever I've got sample size ball, I always send out samples. It's like, you always send out samples of the reset. I know, it's addictive. All I have to do is send you a sample. You're a client for life then. So.
Yeah, I use it too. It's great.
You like it, Dawn? I love it.
That's why I bought it. I got a sample.
Did yours arrive finally, Peg?
Not this latest one yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Shipping to Canada and the States right now, oh my God, It is so bad, and I get their excuse is COVID-19. Everyone's ordering online, so therefore everything's being shipped because people aren't shopping. But seriously, we're talking, I just had a package arrive in Canada that I shipped out 7 weeks ago. Now, I've had other packages arrive much faster, much faster. I've had some that arrived in, one arrived over in the States in 10 days. I was like, oh my God. But literally, it's so shipping is kind of.
It's the same now for me. Even I order from Amazon, and I've had a package. I think it's lost. I think I've got 2 packages lost because when I check the tracking, it just stops.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about my problem with couriers today.
Yeah.
The tracking is just like, either their software is just as fucking broken as every other piece of technology right now, or they've just become completely incompetent and have lost everyone's packages. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm waiting for oils to arrive from Morocco. They were supposed to have been here yesterday. And DHL told Nick on the phone today, oh, we don't know where it is. It may have been sent to the States. I was like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? No, it was literally, I saw the tracking on Saturday. It was sitting in Birmingham, going through a clearance event. So don't you tell me that it's gone to fucking the States, because I will lose my shit. But it's just ridiculous. Like, it's complete acid. Again, reality is breaking down. All of reality is breaking down. Totally insane fucking stuff. Technology is failing.
So just one more thing, Danny. You mentioned Brian Rose earlier. I had posted it in UU, but I took it back out again because then there was some kind of controversy. But apparently he's building a platform.
He did. He's already built a platform.
He's already built it?
Somebody, what's it called again? Someone just posted when we were talking about that in the thing. Somebody posted the name of it. It's
he's going to try to take it to the level where it's not going to be censored, and he's going to roll it out in 6 phases, and he's going to have live streaming or something. I think he's trying to take it over. Not sure. I just wanted to throw that out there, but then there was some guys on YouTube arguing about it, but everybody has their critics, so you really just don't know what to believe anymore.
Do I like him as a person? Do I like everything he has to say? No, not particularly.
No, not necessarily, yeah.
But you know what? He's interviewed some interesting people. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Okay, darlings. Well, I'm gonna let you go because I gotta go feed doggos and children's, etc., etc. I love you, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.